Wake up, rise and shine. It's a brand new day with Mona News. It's time to have your say. She's got the scoop, the stories, all the latest trends. Mo's got the news, let's hear it. My dear friends, from politics to showbiz, no story's too small. Mo covers it all. She's got the inside call, her voice so smooth, like honey in the summer sun. With Mo on the mic, you know the news is always fun. Mornings with Mo, the best newsy news in the world. With her style so classic and her stories unfurled, from morning till night, she's got us in the know. Turn on your radio, let Mo's newsy news flow.
Hey guys, it's Mo, and this is a Mo that thought it was Saturday. You know that time between like Christmas and New Year? It's kind of a time out of time. So I was definitely gearing up for Legal Shenanigans Theater instead of Friday mornings with Mo. But I do have some news for you. Let's get started with some good mornings. Good morning, Fun Diane and Tammy Bogard. Debbie Webb, I'm glad to hear things are, well, looking up for the most part for you, Debbie. So that's great. And Kay, good morning. Good morning, Penny Williams and Christy Murray. And Christine Fortuno, Colorado Mountain Girl, Spirit Matter, Alice G, Factual Lie. Welcome, everyone. Good morning. We have so many stories. Hopefully, now, if you didn't have this on your bingo card, and I totally didn't, apparently there was a stampede of dolphins on the California coast. Not sure at what verse and chapter that shows up in Revelation, so we may want to be on our P's and Q's still to make sure that the end times are not among us. But a once in a lifetime video captured the stampede of dolphins. Now, in awesomeness, they've decided not to show this unless they're going to show, oh, a bunch of random stuff. Because why would you have the video correlated to the article on the same thing? Nah. Oh, wait. It's showing on this one, but it's not showing on the other one. You are jerks. It's a somewhat common thing to see a dolphin swimming in the sea, but have you ever seen a dolphin stampede? They are doing it on purpose. Yes, they are, JKD Buck. Just off the coast of Dana Point in Southern California, visitors and marine enthusiasts watched as the mammals took over the ocean. Cool. In the video published by Storyful, so let's see if we can get this video actually from Storyful. Here we go, finally, the dolphin stampede. I'd want to swim with the dolphins before I run with the bulls, but I have a feeling I'd get just as injured. Not gonna lie. But there you go. The dolphins are conglomerating and they're going to start their attack on humanity at any point, would be my guess. So this is where the footage was filmed at Dana Point, and it was crowned a dolphin and whale watching capital of the world in 2019, according to Captain Dave's Dolphin and Whale Watching Safari. Interesting. So it captured a pod of about 5,000 dolphins swimming all together, frolicking in the water. Quote, when they explained the criteria, I said we're in the perfect, location. Giselle Anderson, who operates Captain Dave's Dolphin and Whale Watching Safari with her husband, we have history, education, and saving of animals. We're really excited because Dana Point has set the bar. Dolphin stampedes typically occur when hundreds and sometimes thousands of dolphins leap in and out of the water in one direction. Now, in the video, the mammals gave onlookers quite a show as they leapt in and out of the water. Witnesses described the scene as both exhilarating and humbling, with the dolphins leaping in unison and gliding effortlessly through the waters off of Southern California. The tour agency has captured many dolphin stampedes in the recent years and put them on their Facebook page. So that might be something to look at if you want to look at, whale and dolphin places to go look. I had no idea there were whale and dolphin safaris, but there you go. I mean, learn something new every day. Now I want to go watch a dolphin stampede. So, chat field trip. We're all going to watch a dolphin stampede. I did not know that this gentleman was still alive, so I apologize sincerely to you, Geoffrey Owens, for thinking that you had passed away into or shuffled off this mortal coil because I honest to goodness thought he was dead. So I am very sorry, sir. But Cosby Show actor Geoffrey Owens is still struggling to make ends meet after he quit a Trader Joe gig over, quote, attacks on his privacy. And thank you for becoming a new member, Factual Lie. Welcome to the Church of Mo. We have dark chocolate sarcasm, and the only thing that's outlawed in our church, besides, hurting children, puppies, and, fluffy things, are those plastic recorders that they give out at 4th grade or 3rd grade. Look, as a mother of 6, I can't take one more off-key hot cross buns, so those are eliminated. But everything else, welcome, and thank you so much for your support. The Cosby Show actor Geoffrey Owens says he's still struggling to make ends meet after he was forced to quit his job at a Trader Joe's grocery store amid attacks on his privacy. Owens, known for his role as Elvin Thibodeau on 6-time Emmy Award-winning series, claimed he is not much better off today than when he was when a customer snapped a photo of the actor working behind the grocery store register in 2018. Even today, right now, as we speak, I still struggle to make a living, Owens told Atlanta's V103 radio station on December 18th. I struggle every day to make ends meet, and people can't get their heads around this because they see me in movies. Owen's residual checks were never particularly wonderful because he only acted in maybe 20% of the shows on the hit series. People have false impressions of what an average middle class actor makes and their ability to make a living in the industry, Owens said. The Yale University graduate and son of former New York Congressman Major Owens took a regular job and, basically, he was photographed working at Trader Joe's. At first, there was some negative stuff about basically the job shaming, a "where is he now" kind of thing, Owens told V103. But then after that, there was all this support and encouragement from all over the world. Owens was worried about invasion of his privacy, so he left the job before this new gig went public. It was strange because someone had been in the store taking pictures, Owens recalled. And I was like, now that this is breaking, I'm not going to feel comfortable working in this store wondering who's around with a camera. It would be too weird. I'm a very private person. I wasn't like, I'll quit knowing I could be making a lot of money soon or anything. I just felt I wasn't going to be able to handle that kind of scrutiny and attack on my privacy. When the news broke, an outpouring of support came his way, though. And I think I remember this, but I honestly don't know that I would have linked him to The Cosby Show. I'd have just been like, "My Trader Joe cashier was awesome." He looks like if Patrick Stewart and Mike Tyson had a baby. Damn it, JKD Buck. Now I'm going to never forget that. I honestly wouldn't have linked him to The Cosby Show. I'd have just been like, "My Trader Joe's guy was awesome, and I got to buy a bunch of cookies and $3 wine." I would be just, "Sir, you would never have been noticed by me." And I mean this, in the most positive way I can state this, but I would have just been so excited to get $3 kind of fancy screw top wine, that I wouldn't have known who you were. So, if that comforts you at all, sir, I hope it comforts you because it was meant in positivity. I wouldn't invade your privacy because I would just be too excited to get the triple ginger cookies home and hidden. Those triple ginger cookies are the bomb, though. I wish we had a Trader Joe. I'm just saying hillbilly country needs a Trader Joe. Now, Nicki Minaj sent him $25,000, but Owens donated the money to charity because it didn't feel right to keep it without working for it. Okay, that's a class act. But he gladly accepted a dozen work projects, including acting gigs with powerhouses like Tyler Perry on the show Haves and Haves Nots, and 50 Cent on a show called Power and Power Book 2 Ghost. Owens currently stars on the CBS sitcom Papa's House, starring Damon Wayans and Damon Wayans Jr. The actor did admit that after headlines calmed down, he went back to Trader Joe's while acting and asked for more hours because money was and is still tight. Bill Cosby, the star of the titular sitcom, has fallen from grace after numerous allegations of, well, grossness has come out. The three-time Golden Globe winning Cosby Show was pulled from syndication on several networks back in 2014 after Cosby was accused and eventually convicted of SA, which he still does deny. Now, the man formerly known as America's Dad has served 3 of a 10-year prison sentence until Pennsylvania's Supreme Court overturned the conviction in 2021. Yes, it did impact me financially at the time the show was pulled. It did make a difference in our income, Owens told People in 2018. During his V103 interview, he reiterated that his residuals were gone after the Cosby scandal came to light. So I hope he finds new things that he's doing. I hope that his privacy remains intact and, he can thrive and do something fun in life because I always did like his character. But, sir, rest genuinely assured that if I see you at Trader Joe's, I will be too zoned in on the cookie aisle. I will not pay attention to you, I promise. Well, when Chipotle customers attack, I guess he didn't get the extra, guacamole. A Chipotle customer attacks an employee behind the counter over an order, then allegedly threatened to perforate him in an online rant. Sir, we do not do our crimes with surveillance cameras around, and then we don't link it to terroristic threats on the internet. Dear Lord, what is going on here? An outraged Chipotle customer violently attacked an employee behind the counter after she claimed they messed up her order. Well, darn. I mean, if I got really ticked off every time someone messed up my order, I would never be done getting upset because I understand inherently I am an uber picky person, like to the point where I have a toddler tray because the food must not touch each other. Like, I get within my soul, I am Sheldon levels of neurotic when it comes to my food. And that's not anyone else's issue but my own. So I generally don't ask people to make food because I know that I'm going to be an ever living butthole about how things are supposed to be put on there and not touching. So when someone does attempt to help me, even if it's not, the way I exactly wanted it, I appreciate it so much more, you know, because now that I can't walk all the time or it's harder for me to walk, I'm willing to make, kind of exceptions to how I like things. And, or ask Mr. Mo if it's going to be too much if he, toasts the bagel, then waits for it to cool down so the butter won't melt because I am a weirdo and I like just a top layer of butter, but I don't want melted butter because it changes the texture of the carb. Yes, I am weird, and I totally get this. But don't be an a-hole to someone that they get your order wrong unless they're an a-hole back to you. Now, footage posted to X captured the woman carrying an empty bowl that she pushed, workers aside at the fast food, casual restaurant in Brentwood, Washington, D.C. on Saturday. The disgruntled customer briefly shakes them off and piles food into the bowl. Um, I could make so many comments, but I'm not going to. But I'm why would you go behind okay. I mean, all right, let's continue because maybe they were just trying to cheap her out of food. I don't know. Now, the altercation escalated when an employee, Roberto Hernandez, tried to snag the mountain of food from her hand. Now, Hernandez does reach for the bowl from behind her, and she slightly pulls it away, then slaps him in the face. That is a woman that should have been on the line for the '84 Bears. I mean, this woman has all the grace and femininity of a young Janet Reno. I mean, I'm just saying if we want a good offensive line, and that's all I know about football is you need some big buff people for offensive lines. I mean, these guys don't have necks. You guys, this is all I've picked up from football knowledge in 40 years that I've lived in my house, just inculcated with football. I'm like, you need big people, on the offensive line because they have to hit people. Me and Madden, just like this. Hernandez said he was left shaken after belligerently being assaulted at his job, and that the video, which has been viewed at least 8 million times, is triggering for him to watch. Hernandez told WUSA 9 that the enraged customer was upset that her Uber Eats order was wrong. Her burrito bowl didn't have the double meat she claimed she ordered, and she wanted a refund, according to the employee. However, Hernandez said that he and his manager tried telling her that they couldn't give her a refund and she would need to contact Uber if she wanted her money back. Yeah, listening is a skill we don't understand anymore. Hernandez also told the outlet he checked the receipt on her order, which showed she had not, in fact, ordered double meat. Well, maybe she was a little bit hangry, a little bit horny. And, that double meat was just the Christmas gift she was gonna give herself. She's like, "I'm gonna treat myself to some double meat." What am I trying what? Okay. She continued to get upset about the situation, and the Chipotle worker said that she went behind the counter and took matters into her own hand and started dishing out a new correct in her eyes order. Now, he said he was attacked when he tried to stop the suspect. I was mad upset, but man, I can't hit a female, Hernandez says, so I walked away. Females, ladies, this is when we need to, with great boobs comes great responsibilities. And when one of our, members, when one of our herd is acting a fool, we're gonna have to wade in there and we're gonna have to, take a heifer down. These men, we have gotten kryptonite of being women, they can't control it. So we women, we're gonna have to lady up. We're gonna have to, create, you know, boobs of racks of justice, posses to go get these shenanigans women and put them in their place because we too have fallopian tubes and can tell them to shut the hell up and sit the hell down. And Tim, thank you for gifting a membership, and that went to Kim Farnham. I hope you're having a great day. And I say this with the full knowledge of hypocriticalness that I hate confrontation. So I would have, big issues with this. But what I absolutely dislike is this current society basically allowing women to act like unfettered jerk brains, because they're a woman and they deserve it. No, as a fellow rack of justice haver, I don't get to act like a daggone toddler drunk on my own supply. because the world isn't fair. No, the world isn't fair to man, the world isn't fair to women, the world isn't fair to a lot of people, especially furries. We don't get to act like unmitigated butt monkeys, kind of a thing. Now, he couldn't hit a woman. The violent customer then allegedly went online and threatened the staff after the attack. Quote, yesterday she was saying, I'm going to come back and stab them and take their lives, he told the outlet. I was scared and she was scaring my coworkers too. The unidentified customer also spoke with WUSA 9, claiming that the employees refused to make her a new bowl or refund her. Yes, then you have to go to Uber Eats like they told you. They were not being, unhelpful butt monkeys. They simply have policy and procedure that is made by corporate. Now, she claims that the workers put their hands on her first and that she only threw the bowl at the worker. Quote, I wasn't aggressive toward them until I got assaulted. The video was cut short, she told the outlet. Chipotle filed a police report over the alleged assault, while the woman intends to sue the fast food chain. Upset customers have attacked workers in the fast casual restaurant in the past. Last December, a Chipotle worker in North Carolina was held down and viciously laid hands on by two unruly customers who were informed that they would be charged extra for chicken. That same month, two women in a Maryland Chipotle threw food in a chair at a worker while they were cleaning. All right, we're going to need to get, instead of a posse of angry, enraged women, we're going to need a posse of moms. And I'm going to need some of the other moms who may be more familiar with this practice. I'm going to need you to show me how to launch a chancla really hard. I'm willing to learn. I am willing to go to the chancla range. But I think we need to have just roaming posses of moms to bring shame back. What do you think, guys? I'm kind of here. I'm kind of here for it. I totally am. Let's have roving bands of moms who don't take no crap. And we will take off, even if we weren't born into cultures that do this, we will take off our chanclas, our flip flops, our slides, our boots, and we will just launch them when we see infractions of shame-inducing behavior happening. That's it. We have a new calling. My 501(c) is just here, right here. We are going on, a bring back shame, bring back good behavior, home training revolution. That is what we're doing starting in the new year. We're taking a little bit of time to rest because we realize we're going to be full of action next year. In another story that looks like this could be exceptionally sad, but it is a big trending story. A high school basketball coach is dead, and their 8-year-old daughter is missing after a Christmas Eve tragedy. An Oklahoma basketball coach and father of four was found dead, and his 8-year-old daughter remains missing after the family's car was swept away by raging floodwaters in Texas on Christmas Eve. Will Robinson, a high school coach from Durant, Oklahoma, and his family were reportedly driving their SUV on Tuesday morning when the vehicle left the roadway, got caught in a drainage ditch in Sherman, Texas, and unfortunately was carried away by strong currents, CBS News reports. All six family members were trapped inside, according to the Sherman Police Department. Robinson did not survive, while four other family members were rescued. The family's 8-year-old daughter has not yet been found. Now, quote, we are still unsuccessful in our efforts to locate the 8-year-old girl, end quote. Lieutenant Samuel Boyle of the Sherman Police Department told Fox News Digital. We've identified a 15-mile stretch of creek downstream where the vehicles stop, and we have targeted that area with a multi-jurisdictional, task force. Sherman police have not confirmed the identity of Robinson or his family. Boyle told Fox News Digital. The search for the young girl, which authorities said has covered 7 miles of creek as of Wednesday, continues into its third day as Texas Governor Greg Abbott approved a state search and rescue teams to come in to try to help assist to find the child. We're shifting our focus into the county, targeting some possible locations where we haven't looked as of yet. And thank you, Tim, for gifting another membership. And that went to Otterly Ridiculous. Great name. Welcome to the Church of Mo. We have dark chocolate sarcasm and, well, gallows humor, but we're pretty good people and we enjoy cookies. So, welcome, welcome. Let's see here. The Sherman Police Department said on a statement Wednesday afternoon, adding, "Our search will continue until dark today, then we'll resume searching again before daylight." The cause of Tuesday's accident was a combination of a heavy downpour and an accumulation of groundwater, Boyle told Fox News Digital. Somehow that caused the vehicle to leave the roadway and enter a drainage ditch, and then the vehicle got caught in the flooding was happening in the drainage ditch. It's a real tragedy, it really is. This is just devastating, and happening on Christmas Eve makes it unbearable, Robinson's cousin wrote in a Facebook post on Wednesday. Will was one of the good ones, a devoted husband, father, a beloved basketball coach, and just a great person. Please keep the entire Robinson family in your thoughts and prayers. Numerous local, state, and local agencies, including Texas Task Force 2, are working together in the search. Boyle told Fox News Digital team that the active searches are including canines, boats, or watercrafts. In crises like these, we are blessed to serve a community that so badly wants to help in any way they can. We have dozens of first responders involved in this search, many with extensive training in searching in hazardous conditions, Sherman Police continued in their statement, adding that they currently do not need any additional volunteers. The Sherman Police Department asked anyone with noteworthy information on the case to call their non-emergency number. My recommendation is do not try to drive through significant standing water. You never know how deep it is, and vehicles are not designed to do that, Boyle told Fox News Digital in a message to all drivers in wet or flooding conditions. Once you lose control of your ability to drive your car, you are simply at the mercy of the water, and it can be very, very dangerous for occupants of the vehicle. If you cannot continue down a roadway because of large standing water that's cutting across it, stop and find another way around. Call local police, call local emergency services, and ask for recommendations if you're not familiar with the area. Now, I will tell you guys that I have had this talk with my girls as they are getting to the age where they're independently driving. I was like, never drive through water. It only takes an inch of water to move a car. Please just don't ever test it. I know you think I have a big car, but you don't understand the power behind that water. So please, you guys be careful, be smart about these things. Don't try to drive through standing water. Hopefully they can find this precious little girl and her family can lay her to rest, because let's be real, guys, we're probably not looking for her having survived, although that would be a miracle beyond all miracles. And I wish it were the case that we could get some really good news on this. But I hope they do find her so she can be laid to rest with her father. And it is a tragedy. And if, you know, telling this story can remind one person not to drive through water, then it's worth it to me to give that. Well, looks like things are not looking up in the new year for Jay-Z and Diddy Combs, because a judge has said that the woman accusing both of them of assaulting her when she was 13, that suit can go ahead anonymously. So looks like things may be on the rocks for these two rappers. An Alabama woman who said she was assaulted by Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs when she was 13 can pursue or proceed anonymously for now in her lawsuit against the rap moguls, a judge ruled Thursday. In her written order, Judge Annalisa Torres also chastised the lawyer representing Jay-Z for what she described as his combative motions and inflammatory language against the plaintiff's lawyer, calling them inappropriate. The Manhattan jurist said that the woman can proceed anonymously at this early stage of litigation, but she may be required to reveal her identity at a later date if the case proceeds. That would allow defense lawyers to collect facts necessary to prepare for trial. Torres also cited substantial interest from the public. Combs remains jailed in New York waiting for his criminal trial on federal trafficking charges. He also faces a wave of SA lawsuits, many of which were filed by the plaintiff's lawyer, Tony Busby, a Texas attorney who says his firm represents over 150 people, both men and women, who allege SA and exploitation by Combs. The lawsuit alleged that many individuals were abused at parties in New York, California, and Florida after receiving drug laced drinks. Now, Combs's lawyers have dismissed Busby's lawsuits as shameless publicity stunts designed to extract payments from celebrities who fear having lies spread about them, just as lies have been spread about Mr. Combs. Jay-Z has said in a statement that Busby is trying to blackmail him to settle the Alabama woman's allegations. Busby said in an email that his firm does not comment on court rulings. In her lawsuit, the woman says she was raped at 13 and identifies herself as Jane Doe. She said she was living in Rochester in 2000 when she made her way to New York City and befriended a limousine driver who drove her to an after party for the MTV Music Awards, where she was eventually attacked by Jay-Z and Combs. Alex Spiro, a lawyer for Jay-Z, asked the judge to dismiss the entertainer from the woman's lawsuit and requested a hearing on the case for a day after he made his request in writing on December 18th. Citing an interview that the plaintiff did on NBC TV, Spiro wrote that the broadcast revealed glaring inconsistencies and outright impossibilities in the plaintiff's story. For one thing, the woman said she traveled for 5 hours from Rochester to watch the Music Video Awards show on a Jumbotron outside the VMA, even though permits and pictures showed that there were no Jumbotrons at the event. Spiro also noted that the woman's father said he does not recall driving from Rochester to pick his daughter up in New York City, as she said he did. The woman has admitted to inconsistencies in her stories. Torres wrote in her order Thursday that Spiro, who has been on the case less than 3 weeks, has submitted a litany of letters and motions attempting to impugn the character of the plaintiff's lawyer, many of them expounding on the the purported urgency of this case. Referring to Jay-Z by his legal name, the judge added, Carter's lawyers relentless filing of combative motions containing inflammatory language and ad hominem attacks is inappropriate. Yeah, damn it, that's my job. I make ad hominem attacks and personal, slights. That's my job. Don't take that away from me. You're lawyers. You have to do the smart thing with all the wordy stuff. I get to make fun of both of these people. A tactic unlikely to benefit his client, the court will not fast track the judicial process merely because counsel demands it. A message seeking comment from Spiro was left for him on Thursday, but it seems like he did not reply. So bad day for Jay-Z and P. Diddy. In what the ever living Schnell, operators of Lord Chippy, dear operators of Lord Chippy, we do have another contestant. So we're going to walk her right up to meet Mr. Chippy. Heated audio reveals the moment dad of S.A., dad of the victim of Brittany Zamora's. Basically, Brittany Zamora was a teacher who SA'd a 13-year-old boy. Now, in an odd turn, because I've seen other kind of coverage of this particular case. Brittany Zamora's husband tried to confront the father and talk him out of bringing any sort of charges against his wife for the incredible grossness that was going on with her abusing this child. Heated new audio reveals moment dad of SA teacher Brittany Zamora's 13-year-old victim confronting her and her husband before she was arrested. Effing monster. And this dad goes off and it is glorious. This dad tells them both, like, "You are dirt, you are trash, and if you stick by this woman who is doing this trash, then you're trash as a man." The husband of former Arizona teacher locked up for SAing a 13-year-old student vigorously defended his wife in the days leading up to her 2018 arrest, and even pressed the victim's parents to settle the heinous matter outside of court. A new document released last month captured the moment Brittany Zamora's husband, Daniel, pleaded with the student's furious father during a heated phone call to forgive his wife and abstain from calling the cops. God preaches forgiveness, man. Oh, dear Lord. The collective rage that would be unleashed from my body if you are trying to use Jesus as your shield when your wife has abused my baby boy. I would not be responsible for my actions in that moment. JKD Buck, I am thinking it's happening more. It's happening and we're noticing more. I think that oh, it's just a female teacher, it's just a rite of passage. I think we are becoming less and less indulgent of these disgusting women. Yeah, do not bring up Jesus when you're talking about abusing someone's child. I don't think you're gonna like the reaction. I'm not a psychic, but I wouldn't recommend it. And Wolfie, no worries. I was just worried I was gonna check to make sure you weren't feeling sick because I know there's flu and all sorts of creeping crud going around, but I thought today was Saturday, so I'm glad that everyone else is experiencing this kind of in between time lack of temporal knowledge and or a through line. But let's continue because yeah, Daniel Zamora was like, God preaches forgiveness, man. Oh hell no. He was talking about his wife being charged with molesting a sixth grade student, according to the footage. The enraged father named John shot back, labeling the sicko teacher a effing monster. Listen to me, I'm not going to settle this out of court, he said in additional footage. There's not enough money you could effing offer me to settle this. Your woman is a monster. She's a monster. You tell him, Dad. You tell him. Daniel, seemingly unaware of the extent of his wife's disturbing actions, maintained that she was a great teacher who made a huge mistake by getting invested with her student. Now, what kind of destiny level cuckold do you need to be to stand behind a woman who is actively cheating on you with a 13-year-old? She is actively abusing her victim and your love rival. How are you standing behind this chick? You are cucked beyond belief. Good Lord. Your wife decided to be a monster and preyed on a child. She scarred my son mentally, the boy's father responded, with the unwitting husband asking the father to explain what he meant. The emotionally charged phone call took place after the boy's parents found salacious text messages indicating a sexual relationship between the pair soon after they began monitoring his phone with the app. Now, the victim told investigators that he and the then married 27-year-old teacher at La Bristas Academy Elementary School in Goodyear had joined together several times in a car and in her classroom, with an 11-year-old friend of his acting as lookout during this time, according to the documentary. Zamora, 33, who also touched the young victim in the back of her classroom while other students watched an educational video. I like for you to get I like for you to get real sexier for me every day, LOL, she told the teen in a racy text. I want to F you so bad, baby. Those times aren't enough, the boy responded. The documentary also featured a body cam of Zamora's arrest and interrogation with police, along with interviews with parents, witnesses, and school administrators hours before the teacher's arrest. Yeah, they had all the evidence, and when the other student came in and said he was a lookout, yeah. The footage revealed text messages between Daniel Zamora and his wife, with the blindly devoted husband encouraging his wife to cry, apologize, and appear helpless upon questioning. Female privilege will not get you out of this, ma'am. There are enough angry ass mom honey badger bears out there. We're not going to let you deal with it. Don't admit to any relationship, he texted his wife, because we both know there isn't one and nothing happened. It's just a stupid fantasy text that went too far. However, unfortunately for Mr., white knight saving husband, Zamora pled guilty to contact with a minor and reduced charges of molestation of a child and public sexual indecency and was scheduled or sentenced to 20 years in prison in July 2019. Yeah, your tears aren't going to help, ma'am, because as a person with boobs, I don't give two craps if you're crying. But you abused a young child. It's chonkla time. The victim's family filed a civil lawsuit against the Liberty Elementary School District and Zamora's husband, claiming that they were aware of the rumors before the SA was revealed. The suit also accused the husband of failing to alert authorities after he learned of the abuse. He settled for an undisclosed amount in 2019. In 2020 of May, Zamora filed for divorce from her husband after 4 years, calling the relationship broken beyond repair. Yeah, I'm guessing having an affair with a 13-year-old and having to register as an offender kind of puts the old rocks on the mattress. After she was arrested, Zamora told police she was worried about her safety behind bars while sharing affection for her then husband. I'm little. They're going to tear me apart, Zamora cried to investigators, according to footage. I have the best husband in the world. Ew. Ew. Well, I guess, hopefully he learned his lesson about blindly believing those of us with boobs. So don't. Some of us, just because we have boobs doesn't mean we're not evil. Um, well, apparently, if you try to escape in a kayak, you will get caught. This woman's, bid to be the next Black Widow kind of foiled by a kayak. A woman shot husband dead, set his new truck on fire and tried to escape in a kayak. You guys know why I picked this headline now. A Texas woman was charged with the murder of her common law husband after police said she set his truck on fire, then tried to escape in a kayak, as one does. Just like James Bond, kayak, parachute, or, little Tom Cruise, motorcycle, parachute. She went kayak, parachute. Faith Page Goins, 40, is being held at Calhoun County Adult Detention Center after being arrested on December 23rd. An investigation that spanned 2 counties determined that Faith was the main suspect in the death of her common law husband, Thomas Calveria Jr., 30, who was found in a closet with a fatal gunshot wound to the face, according to an arrest affidavit obtained by San Antonio ABC affiliate KSAT. Now, Calveria was found dead on Monday when officers with the Paldera County Sheriff's Office reportedly did a welfare check on the home at the request of Calhoun County officials who were looking for the alleged victim. Now, Calhoun County deputies reportedly stated that Faith became the target of their investigation after she lit a 2024 GMC pickup truck, which belonged to the decedent, on fire near Port O'Connor, which is about 150 miles east of San Antonio. An eyewitness saw Faith extinguishing herself as she walked away from the truck, The arrest report states a gas can and lighter were found near the vehicle. Now, Faith was then found by deputies and an officer from Texas Park and Wildlife Department after she allegedly attempted to paddle away from the area in a kayak. She would have gotten away with it had she picked a motorboat. Uh, Police said that Faith had burn injuries to her hands and her decedent's ID in her possession. The affidavit reportedly stated that Faith told police that she had shot, Calvera, with whom she shares a child, and set his truck on fire. She was charged with one count of murder in Bexar County, where Calvera's home was located, and one count of arson causing serious bodily injury or death. No bond information is available at this time. Yeah, she would have gotten away with it had she not set fire to the truck in a public park in front of everyone. I mean, I guess I'm glad that criminals aren't getting any smarter, but well, someone is in the doghouse and probably gonna be in hand shackles fairly soon. Debbie Webb, the article didn't say anything about the child, so hopefully the child is okay, but I will try to look up to see if I can find anything from local reporting about the child. This is a big, big scandal and one that followed him home from work. Ex-NYPD top cop Geoffrey Madry kicked out by wife after tawdry sex for overtime scandal expose. Yep, he was making officers sleep with him allegedly in order to get hella overtime. He's been demoted. Recently ousted NYPD Chief of Department Geoffrey Madry was kicked out of his Queens home by his enraged wife following a post expose that linked him to a sleazy sex for overtime scandal involving high ranking aides, or at least one of them in the department, law enforcement officials said. Now, Madry, 53, the highest ranking uniformed cop in the NYPD until his abrupt fall from grace last week, left his two-story Brookville home lugging two suitcases shortly after the explosive December 21st report and is now shacking up with kin in Georgia, sources say. Now, the veteran cop who's rose through the ranks of New York's finest and was appointed chief by Mayor Eric Adams in 2022 was pressured to quit after the scandal broke. The Post exclusive revealed that NYPD Lieutenant, okay, you guys, I am not trying to be a jerk face. I am going to attempt this name. Quathesha Epps. I am not trying to be disrespectful, but I graduated before Hooked on Phonics. So we're just gonna say Miss Epps from now on. Filed a complaint accusing Madry of an ongoing campaign of, well, extortion of the smexual kind, for perks and overtime duty. Epps said that the chief took advantage of her financial vulnerability, including a fear that she would lose her home due to foreclosure, to arm her into a sex for perks relationship starting in June 2023. I think he's a predator, she said. And thank you, Squaw Bob, for the membership. And that went to Grey Witch. Welcome to the Church of Mo. Always room for one more. Everyone, hand her a cookie, get her some dark chocolate. Let's get her feeling welcome in here. He'd say, "We're going to save your house, like you're supporting me when you're really just effing me." Epps 51 said Madry also forced her to do odd favors for other female cops, according to the Equal Employment Opportunity complaint filed by her attorney, Eric Sanders. Now, sources said that word of the alleged scandal infuriated the new NYPD commissioner, Jessica Tisch, who has taken an axe to the department since taking over to cut useless spending and put more cops on the street. Tisch, only the second woman to lead the 36,000 member police force, was or has orchestrated a shakeup at number 1 Police Plaza, including booting the head of internal affairs, stripping brass of pricey drivers and security details, and transferring a loose-lipped spokesperson who called a Post reporter a effing scumbag. Those moves and Madry's forced resignation are now part of the Harvard-educated commissioner's move to remake what critics call the department's frat house culture. Meanwhile, Madry has denied Ebb's allegations. No one answered the door at Madry's home this week, and voice messages left for both the ex-police chief and his estranged wife were not returned. So, my guess is that things are going to start blowing up. And we need to keep an eye on this because if one person's going down and they're corrupt, they are taking the entire corrupt, party down with them. Misery loves accomplices. So if he's going to go down, everyone's going to go down. Well, hopefully this ends better, but two women fall off a 50-foot cliff on a golf course on Christmas Eve, but were found the next day. So at least they were found the next day, and this is why I will never golf. It's probably not the way they wanted to spend their Christmas Eve. Citrus County Fire and Rescue in Florida reported that two women were stranded overnight, but found safely Christmas morning after they fell about 50 feet off a cliff at Black Diamond Ranch Quarry Course on Thursday in Lecanto, Florida, which is about 30 or 80 miles north of Tampa. This morning, Citrus County Fire Rescue responded to a challenging rescue after two women fell approximately 50 feet into the quarry on the quarry course near the 17th hole at Black Diamond Ranch. And thank you for another gifted membership, Squab Bob. And that went to Storm Wind Windy. So congratulations. Welcome to the Church of Mo. The incident occurred on Christmas Day, but went undiscovered until this morning. The 17th hole is known for its sheer drop-offs. Holes 13 through 17 on the Tom Fazzo design, according to the golf course's website, play across and around the rims of two canyons up to 80 feet deep. Now, the rescue crews found the women and pulled them out after they executed a successful low angle rescue. They reported that the two women were stabilized and taken to a nearby hospital. The course opened in 1987 and had a sectional qualifier for the U.S. Open in 2012. So, looks like they ended up okay, a little bit bruised, a little bit battered, but okay. So, hopefully, they're going to have an interesting story and their night of survival and no long term lasting effects, although maybe they won't play golf in a quarry. These are the type of things that never happen during putt putt, but they're also the kind of things that could happen during putt putt with Mo. So I seem to have the luck of getting injured in even relatively mundane things. So there you go. My grandmother was handed a note after being liberated from Auschwitz decades later, where able to thank the kind stranger for giving her hope. I thought this was a really cute story, or at least it looked like a really cute story headline because I generally don't read these before I give them up to you, which ends up biting me in the behind if they're from a foreign country and I know I'm going to cause a hate crime by trying to pronounce any of the names. The Start to a New Life. Just 6 words made an impact on Lily Ebert in 1945, a year after she and her family were forced out of Hungary and sent to the notorious death camp Auschwitz-Birkenau, where her mother, young sister, brother, and 100 members of her extended family were unalived in gas chambers. Ebert and 2 of her sisters were chosen to work for the bad people in WW2 until they were no longer useful. Her great-grandson Dov Foreman, 21, recently told the Post. In April 1945, Ebert and her sisters were on a death march where American uh, Jewish forces liberated them. One of the soldiers gave Ebert a banknote with a hopeful message. Quote, "The start to a new life, good luck and happiness," end quote. Now her story and the memories are among many honored at Nick Schreiber's new book, Humans of Judaism, a collection of over 200 moving stories of Jewish identity and perseverance, including those of Holocaust survivors, artists, inventors, founders, celebrities, and personal family histories. Oh, look at that. It's the real note. I love history, you guys. I love it. So this is very interesting. Um, and at a time of rising anti-Semitism, people are turning to the heartfelt stories like this to find light in darkness. Lily Ubbert was really personal to me, Schreiber shared with the Post. It's a tough reality, but the treasure and hopefully the comfort of the surviving family to see that there are various outlets offering to further the legacy, and hopefully that's something meaningful. For four men to have Egbert's story live on through the heartwarming book means so much. To the world, she was this heroine, this inspiration. She was a to so many. To me, she was just my great grandmother, and to our family, she was just that ever present queen of our large, loving family, Foreman shared. Oh, and he's so sweet, and he's got the apple and the honey for, I wanna say Rosh Hashanah, but I could be completely wrong. I do not have a lot of knowledge, on Judaism is that, but again, uh, possibly, totally and completely wrong. I am only a recovering Catholic. 76 years after Egbert was saved, Foreman posted a photo of the banknote on X, then Twitter, during the COOF pandemic. And thanks to the power of social media, she was able to connect with the late soldier's children on a video call in 2020. It's unbelievable. I never knew something like this could happen. It was such a fantastic feeling, Egbert told NBC at the time. It was really special. I felt like we were family and we just clicked, Foreman said. From there, Eber and Foreman dedicated their online presence to Holocaust education. With over a billion views across all platforms and 2 million followers, many found themselves inspired by Eber, including King Charles III, who commissioned a painting of her at Buckingham Palace. Egbert made a promise with herself that if she survived the Holocaust, she would educate the world to make something like this never happened again. And she did, writing a memoir entitled Lily's Promise and sharing her story with the world before she passed away at the age of 100 in October. Okay, now just me, and I'm trying not to be, but if the king commissioned a picture of me, I would want it to be hot me. I'm such a vain moron. I'd be like, "Your kingliness, could you have gotten me when I was hot? I'm just asking for a friend, like, I'm cool with me looking like Betty White now, but you couldn't have given me a hot picture?" But this is why I will never do anything super-de-duper great, because I'd be like, "I would like the picture of me to be hot in the memoriam." And what a cool lady to write a book and get it published at, 100 years old to continue this story. I know. It is JKD Buck, you are absolutely correct. I am just vain and vainglorious. And it looks like she just continued her advocacy, and for someone who lost so many, and I'm speaking quite honestly, as someone who knows the pain of losing just a single family member, for her to lose not only her close family members, but up to 100 of her, relatives. And then to go on and to lead this life and to make it her goal to, tell the real history, to tell the real story and things that we're losing now. I mean, we are losing these incredible people who are our lifeline to these incredibly dangerous but uplifting and human times, and I hope that we take full advantage of this because, you know, once we lose this incredible wisdom, once we lose this link to our past, we are so much more likely to fall down these well-worn paths that, speak to the smallness of humanity rather than the bigness and the greatness of the human spirit. Once we lose these, touches with our past, this wisdom of how things happened, then we are so much more free to fall into kind of these little petty squabbles and how much we're different with these little things versus, the same in big things. So, what an incredible story. What an incredible, life and love that she did. And, you know, to live for 100 years and to be the head of a big giant family that's loud and chaotic is all I want too. I wanna be, the Sophia in, 20 years with a bajillion and 12 grandchildren doing crazy things, and me over here saying, "Hey, settle down, kids, or you're not gonna get Monster Energy drinks before you go home." Now, do you wanna hear a story about how when your parents were goofy and we just found the internet? So, I can't wait for all of that, and what a life well lived. In what I like to call karma is a bitch, but she is justice. Alleged Kentucky deadbeat dad who owes over $100,000 in child support was arrested getting off a cruise ship in Miami. Oh, hells yes. That's what we call divine intervention of the snarky variety. An alleged deadbeat dad who was on the run and owed more than $100,000 in child support was arrested last week as he exited a cruise ship in Miami, authorities said. Dominic Weaver, a Kentucky resident who has been on the lam for more than 10 years, when his holiday vacation ended after being taken into custody and brought back to Louisville, WDRB TV reported. Now, detectives from a local child support division flew to Miami and eventually brought Weaver back to the Bluegrass State. I don't know when he left, but he fled the jurisdiction, and from the date of his sentence until today, and even today, he has not paid 1 cent of child support, Jefferson County Attorney Michael O'Connell said. So this would be the dirtbag in reference, and you could gold date your teeth, but you couldn't pay for your kids. And I listen, I know I'm gonna fall on a really weird thing on this one, but you guys, with my youngest daughter, and she has a great dad. We are not good together, but he is a wonderful, wonderful dad. And, he was having to pay child support before we went 50-50. He was the type of dad that I would notice that his shoes were falling apart, but my daughter had everything she needed. So when I went to that, child support thing to say, "Hey, we're going 50-50," it they hadn't been taking or making note because he had paid child support, faithfully. He was a good dad. I cannot, emphasize that enough. The woman over at the child support thing wanted me to turn him in, and I said, "No, he's been paying the child support. You guys haven't been recording it, but he's a good dad and, we're gonna be 50-50. He takes care of her, you know, I don't wanna turn him in." She's like, "Well, here's the paper." I was like, "What part of I don't wanna turn him in, I would like to just be, humans about this and not involve the courts?" Well, Mom, I don't wanna toot my own horn because I was very angry, and I was a butt monkey, and I had to pull my head out of my behind and be less angry that the relationship didn't work out and more focused on being blessed that I had a dad who wanted to be in his daughter's life, and a good dad that would, walk around in falling apart shoes rather than, his daughter not have anything or that she needed or wanted at that moment. And I think a lot of dads are like that, but this dad, you're not a dad, you're a douche. So I come at it from a different perspective in that I know how much they take away from men for child support, and I wish that we could come up with a more fair system that doesn't always just listen to the mom. But if you have been adjudicated this, then the least you can do as a dad is pay it unless you would like to spend more time with your children. You gross dingus, and you could go on a cruise. Do you know how long Mo has been waiting for a cruise? We have not had our real honeymoon, which again, choices. I chose to marry someone with children. He chose to marry someone with children. We knew we weren't going to get, a long, luxurious honeymoon. That's fine. Life is all about choices, and would I love a cruise? Yes, I would, but not at the expense of my children, and that is why you are such a gross kidult. You are a child, a toddler who wants to have his fun but no responsibility. Now, let's get into this douche canoe. Now, Weaver is 27 or 47 and owes somewhere between 114,000 and to $120,000 in child support. O'Connell said Weaver has a total of 4 cases with the child support division. Two more of those are already in for indictment, again, of more felonies. O'Connell said he's planning to ask the judge to revoke Weaver's original sentence and that he should be resentenced for 4 years in prison, which I think is correct. Um, you know, I will say it was stories like this that made me make sure that I tipped my Uber Eats drivers. Not gonna lie, I completely tipped them because I didn't wanna be stabulated. Also, they did a good job and they brought me food, and I felt incredibly decadent, so I figured I could just give them 3 or 4 more dollars. December 26th, it is the season for sharing and stabbing, apparently. Angry that she only received a $2 tip on a $33 order of pizza and chicken wings, a delivery driver allegedly clocked out of work and returned later that night to stab the female customer 14 times. $2 14 times. What the hell is wrong with you? Okay, also, I have a question. We're going full screen for this. I need millennials, I need Gen, Alpha to explain to me. What is up with this Lord Farquaad middle part, you guys? Middle parts do I can't even do a middle part because my hair is so Lord Farquaad against them. But what is up with the Lord Farquaad hair part? I ask you again, Lord Farquaad. They did it to the new, Snow White, and and this chick did it, and everywhere I go, I see women just parting in the middle, looking like Lord Farquaad. I feel like I'm stuck in Shrek, especially if you have a short bob of with brown hair. Do not do it. You will look like Lord Farquaad. Unless that's what you're going for, then good on you. Now, cops say that Brianna Aveo, 22, was working Sunday evening at Marco's Pizza, a Kissimmee business, when she was dispatched around 10 p.m. to a nearby Riviera motel to deliver food ordered by Melinda Izari, 26. Now, Izari and her boyfriend, Bobby Brooks, and the couple's 5-year-old daughter were celebrating Brooks's birthday. As alleged in the arrest affidavit, when Izari handed over $50 for the food, Avail began walking away with the money. Okay, you're not going to get a 15 damn dollar tip for $30. And as a family, I mean, look, the very small amount of times that we actually order pizza, yes, I do give a tip, but this is a special thing, especially with the economy being the way it is. I mean, we're a large family, so maybe it doesn't cost everyone else the same amount it costs us when we get enough pizza to feed everyone. but this is a special thing. And thank you, Squab Bob, for gifting another membership, and that went to Jen. So welcome, Jem. Welcome back. And, thank you so much for being a part of the Church of Mo. So she handed over a 50. It was only $33.10. You are not getting daggone nearly $15 from me, chick. That's not that ain't happening. So, I'd have probably given you a 5. So she began walking away with the money, and Melinda asked her to stop and give her the change back, Azari told the cops. She didn't want to leave such a large tip. After rooting around for smaller bills, Azari and Brooks tipped Aveo $2. Melinda explained that the female rolled her eyes and walked away without saying anything. Now, police charge that Aveo and a male accomplice, both dressed in black and wearing face masks, then showed up at the hotel 90 minutes after the food was delivered. Upon hearing a loud knocking, Azari opened the door and the two visitors burst in. The male intruder brandished a force multiplier while the woman, whose cops later identified as Aveo, began rummaging through Azari's purse and the family's belongings, even smashing the child's Nintendo Switch. You utter bitch. Look, my kids love their tablets, and part of me worries about, them being addicted to their electronics. But me and Mr. Moreau work damn hard to be able to afford nice, things for our kids. And we get irritated when they break them, but the hell you did not freaking come into my or to my hotel room and break something that I worked my ass off to give my kid. 'Cause I would lose my Mr. Mo would be behind me as per usual, and I would just be doing the full arm windmill and, growling like a terrier, like, because no, things are so expensive. And look, ma'am, I get that you wanted a $27 tip for, your supreme ability to bring a pizza and not flip it over upside down and give it to people while it's still hot. I understand that's a talent not many Mensa members can do. But you came in here and you attacked and terrorized a family because you didn't get what you felt you deserved. You giant baby. Ugh. That's when Aveo turned out a knife and Azari turned away to shield her daughter. That's when Aveo began striking Azari multiple times with the knife, police reported. And it was discovered that Melinda had been stabbed 14 times in different areas of her body and had just found out from the hospital that she was a few weeks pregnant. Azari was hospitalized in stable condition. A police brief uh, a brief police probe identified Aveo as a suspect in the attack, with the investigators stating that she became upset about the tips she'd received. Now, she was arrested Monday, charged with attempted murder, aggravated assault, kidnapping, home invasion with a firearm, and her male companion has not been identified. She has been locked up without bond in Osceola County. So, yeah, stay in jail. And she does look, unfortunately, like Jamie Komorowski, the drunk driving bride killer. So, I don't know, I already don't feel any sympathy for you. So and the Lord Farquaad part, I'm kinda done with you, sir, or ma'am. Well, ma'am, sir, it's the Lord Farquaad part. I don't know what you're doing with that one. I have no words because this looks alternately good and disgusting. A woman consumes 49 grams of green cotton candy for a Guinness World Record. I mean, this sounds like anytime my kids go to the fair or know that there's cotton candy. So I don't know that this is a feat because I'm pretty sure my kids could beat her under the table with like their own cotton candy eating. Also, I'm not sure how heavy a gram is in cotton candy. So it's really confusing me because I don't know how much grams cotton candy. Speed eater Leah Schutkiefer took home a new Guinness World Record as she consumed 49 grams of green cotton candy in 60 seconds. Why is it green? She asked when the plate was presented. It's quite grinchy, the adjudicator David Wilson said. According to Wilson, Schutkiefer would need to eat the 45 grams of the treat in under 60 seconds to beat the world record. I have very sticky fingers and a very sticky face, Schutkiefer said after earning the new title. But you know what? It was so worth it. It's absolutely, ma'am. After having 6 children, I realized I needed a new hobby. And I'm not saying that this might be your epiphany moment, but this might be your epiphany moment, okay? The competitive eater also set records for consuming 19 chicken nuggets and 10 jelly donuts in 1 minute and 3 minutes respectively. So there you go. She can she can take down your 10-piece nugget in under a minute. She is either the woman for you or she is your worst enemy because she's gonna steal your nuggets. She's worse than the Hamburglar. And in our final story, what are they not telling us? What is the truth? 5 fast food giants that don't use real whole eggs in their breakfasts. Well, I'm hopefully they use some sort of eggs that are from a chicken-ish animal, I hope. But let's see what they really use. Several of the country's biggest fast food franchises don't use real whole eggs in their breakfast meals, a surprising new report claims. Now, those of us who have ever, worked in, uh, well, McDonald's know that they use the kind of mixed up egg gloop, the liquid egg. So this is not news, but I guess this is news to some people. So Fox Business identified the purported perpetrators of the are in an investigation published Tuesday, while also naming the big restaurants that do serve up whole eggs, and the findings might shock you. Now, according to the outlet, the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Food Safety and Inspection Service, or FSIS, notes food manufacturers often use pasteurized egg products because of their convenience and ease in handling and storing, making the practice completely above board. While Starbucks says that its breakfast sandwiches contains whole eggs, Fox Business claims the long list of additives means they technically can't be categorized as 100% real eggs. It's that one Cadbury egg they throw in there just for fun. The additives purportedly included water, soybean oil, modified food starch, whey solids, and citric acid. Meanwhile, publications claim that Dunkin' similarly advertises the use of real whole eggs in a variety of breakfast items. However, the classification is in the eye of the beholder due to the additives in the eggs, such as water and modified cornstarch, xanthan gum, and citric acid. Meanwhile, Subway's eggs contained additives including dextrose, gargar, propylene glycol, glycerin, and other things. Isn't propylene glycol what they put in antifreeze so you're not allowed to, so it kills you? Or is that ethylene glycol? I watch way too much true crime. One will kill you, one's a food additive, and I'm gonna mix them up. It's the same thing with tornado watch and tornado warning. I'm always gonna get it wrong. Just am. I have an intrinsic block against it. Uh, so the fast food giant has committed to transitioning to eggs from cage-free hens, but has failed to do so due to the limited supply of, cageless, eggs. Now, Chick-fil-A is working hard to serve 100% cage-free eggs, but admits that its egg products are currently made from egg water and other additives. Fox News identifies Burger King as the fifth fast food franchise for going serving 100%, just regular eggs. Now, egg products included in their breakfasts are allegedly liquid egg pasteurized mixtures containing a number of additives. So, I don't know. I do know that when I worked in, fast food sort of places, it is easier to store and to keep food and shelf stable and not worry about bacteria and such and things like that when you just use the liquid egg product. Now, I don't know what all the additives do. I'm sure that JFK Jr. is going to explain, or not JFK, RFK Jr. is going to explain all of that. JFK Jr. sadly didn't make it out of an airplane crash. Was anyone else's mother, like, inordinately upset at JFK Jr. passing out away? Because I was like, "Mom, mom, hi. Hi, it's your weird alien child. Did we know the person?" And my mom was like, "No, I did not know JFK Jr." Like, I was asking the dumb question, and I said, "Then why are we so sad that he died?" At that point, I didn't understand that you could, kind of grieve a person because they, you know, were part of, like, the fabric of society when you were around. So I just didn't quite get it because 11-year-old me did not understand being upset at someone I didn't know. I also didn't think he was that cute, I'm gonna be real, but I had a crush on Alex Trebek at that point, so again, my ability to tell attractiveness may be slightly skewed. That being said, in all honesty, I felt bad that he had lost his life, but I didn't know him, and I was kind of confused as to why we were upset about the whole thing. That being said, I do understand now more as an adult why she was upset, but me as a kid, I was just like, "We don't know them. Like, we're not even gonna take, like, funeral potatoes over or nothing, so why are we worried?" Ooh, leftover Christmas quiche. I have to go to Walmart, and I am hoping that it will not be crazy and confused. I don't know what it is about the holidays in Walmart, but everyone forgets how to drive a cart. I mean, it is like we have all been lost style dropped into a supermarket, never seen one before, and we're like, "What is this place with all these foods? And why do I have a buggy? And should I run it into people or just talk to people I haven't seen, for hours on end just in the middle of the aisle?" That would be great. That's kind of how I feel every time I go to Walmart. You always have those especially around the holidays when wives drag their unfortunate husbands with them to help grocery shop, and the husband is usually doing one of this like, "What's this? What's this? There's Cheetos in the air." It's like the Nightmare Before Christmas. They're like, "What's this? A new Pop-Tart thing?" And they're just throwing things into the cart. The wife is diligently trying to get things through. Or they have been confused and just by the majesty of all of the carbohydrates and just looking around like, "This is new and weird." But enough about my Walmart fears and anxieties because I'm sure not everyone else has to talk themselves up to going to people. But in on that note, I would like to give you guys kind of a thought to keep in your mind. I know I've said it before, but maybe going into the new year, while we're all still really missing Jeff, maybe as a tribute to Jeff, as someone who, spent the last couple of years making people feel seen and welcome and in a community. And maybe he never even talked to them. Maybe they weren't even in chat. Then maybe let's try to go out of our way to invite more people into our human community. Uh, you know, the way I do it, and I really lack peopling skills, is I try to compliment people. If I see someone and I like their t-shirt, I say it, or I say, "That look your hair looks wonderful today." You know, they're true, but I am trying to find myself and encourage myself to go out of my way to say these nice things to people since I am such a spaz and tend to lock up during social things. And maybe it's not making a giant difference, but you can see these people genuinely smile when you do it, and I'm hoping that, these small little things I'm doing make more people feel the way Jeff made me feel when I was having a bad day, and if we can all pay that forward into the new year, I think it would be a wonderful tribute beyond all of the beautiful things that people are doing on their own. But I'm not your mom. I'm not gonna make you like I'm gonna make my kids write thank you notes when I get back from Walmart. They're like, "Thank you notes." Not thank you notes. Worse than waterboarding, I tell you, because they're not allowed to spend their Christmas gift money until they write thank you notes, because as I explained to them, as my mother explained to me when I went, "Thank you notes." Is that it really reminds people that you appreciate what you do, and I'm hoping to pay that forward so one day my kids will make their grandchildren write, 3 full sentences about how that gift and they appreciate it and thanking them. Hopefully, that's something that I will be pushing on, to my kids, and we can do that. Have a wonderful day, you guys. If I don't see you before, New Year's Eve, or I forget what day it is, uh, you know, remind me, and I'll be here with Morning with Mo, generally scrambling because I swear to goodness today was Saturday in my mind. But have a lovely day. Enjoy this Friday. Reach out to someone that haven't maybe talked to in a while. We get so busy and we get so, stressed about everyday little minutia in life that we forget we have all of these people that we really need to thank and appreciate. So try to do that today. I will try to do that in my own way. And hopefully there will be some cool, you know, clearance stuff at Walmart because I am a after the holiday pirate. I'm gonna get all those holiday candles by you guys.